Yes, come in.
Good morning to all.
You are Deepak?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sit down, Deepak.
Thank you, sir.
Are you coming straight from Dausa in Rajasthan?
Sir, I was born in there.
Okay. This name Rajasthan,
Yes, sir.
how does it come? How does it originate?
Sir, I'm not aware of that right now.
Can you do the Sandhi Vichhed for Rajasthan?
Sir, it could be like a sthan for Rajas, so it could be a place for kings.
Can you relate it to the history and background of Rajasthan?
Sir, Rajasthan has been a place of several Indian kings and dynasties, so that maybe from the bravery and valor of all those kings, the name came from.
And what is the importance of this place, Dausa?
Dausa, sir, it is, first of all, it is called in Sanskrit Dausa. It's like Devnagari, so it's a beautiful place. Apart from that, sir, it has Balaji temple, that is a significant tourist place. And sir, after that, Dausa also gave Rajasthan its first elected chief minister. And sir, one more thing
What was the name?
Sir, Mr. Tikaram Paliwal.
Mr.
Tikaram Paliwal. And sir,
He was the first chief minister.
Sir, first elected chief minister of Rajasthan. And sir, after that, one more thing I can recall, sir, Dausa is famous for its Khadi Su. The first national flag which was hosted on Red Fort was from Dausa.
Mohanlal Sukhadia?
Sir, I'm not aware of it.
Was he the chief minister of Rajasthan?
Sir, I'm not aware of that.
And currently, who represents Dausa in the parliament?
Sir, in Rajya Sabha, it is Mr. Kirodi Lal, and
Any association of Dausa with Rajesh Pilot or Sachin Pilot?
Sir, Sachin Pilot is the young Congress leader, and sir, he is a significant upcoming leader in Congress party.
What is his constituency?
Sir, I'm not aware.
Is he from Dausa or not?
Sir, I don't know.
Okay, your father is in Delhi police.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you live in this place called Vishwakarma Colony.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to ask you about Vishwakarma, but before that, tell me, what is your optional?
Sir, public administration.
Public administration. And when is your interview date?
Sir, it hasn't scheduled yet.
Oh, so it will be March.
Yes, sir. Most probably it will be
onwards.
March and April.
Okay, okay. Now tell me the meaning of this word and the significance of this word Vishwakarma.
Sir, Vishwakarma Day is celebrated, sir, by the worker class.
No, first the meaning of this word Vishwakarma.
Vishwakarma. Sir, I don't know exactly, but I can guess that it would be something related to karma, that is our doing our work.
What is it?
Vishwa is World Labor Day, maybe.
Vishwakarma.
Sir, I'm not exactly aware.
Okay, and what is the significance of this word?
Sir, significance, sir, World Vishwakarma Day is celebrated. So, sir, I think that is something related to that.
Okay, but who was Vishwakarma? Who is Vishwakarma?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of that.
But you are from civil engineering.
Yes, sir.
I thought Vishwakarma was one of the eminent civil engineers. Or was he the architect?
I have to read on that. I have to read on it, sir. Right now, I'm not able to.
Okay, okay. Now coming to civil engineering from IIT Roorkee. I thought IIT Roorkee is the best place to study civil engineering. Is that so?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is there a department of earthquake engineering in Roorkee IIT?
Yes, sir, it is there.
So what does it do? What is the difference between civil engineering as a subject and earthquake engineering as a subject, you say? And is there the overlap or they are distinct, you say?
Sir, Earthquake engineering as a department plays role in master's degree in Roorkee. And sir, earthquake engineering is basically about retrofitting or making the buildings earthquake resistant in various earthquake prone zones. That's where it plays role, and it somehow overlaps. It complements civil engineering.
And civil engineering, between the two, what is the difference? How do you make a distinction between civil engineering and earthquake engineering? Because civil engineering is also about safe construction,
Yes, sir.
and earthquake engineering also, you said, resistant construction, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So how do you
So
distinguish?
civil engineering is a generic term which constitutes planning, designing, and making various structures. Whereas earthquake engineering is specific to making building earthquake resistant. Civil engineering is also deals in various structures which could be flood resistant or any other natural calamity resistant. But earthquake engineering is specific to that.
Is there a code which guides, the construction practice in the country?
Yes, sir. It's Indian Standard Code, and there is it guides various construction practices. And as far as I can recall, it is IS 1893 which guides earthquake-resistant buildings.
Something to do with construction and building.
Construction and building.
Have you heard of National Building Code?
And yes, sir, I have heard of it.
What is it about, and which organization is responsible for this?
Sir, organization I am not aware of that, but it is responsible for laying various standards about the various standards about quality and strengths of materials which should be used at various places in a country.
Okay, there is a saying, we have heard, which says earthquakes do not kill.
Yes, sir.
Normally when earthquake happens, people die, isn't it? But still there is a saying that earthquakes do not kill, but it is dash 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 kills, you see. So what is it that kills in earthquake, you see?
Sir, that the blanks could be filled up by negligence or poor construction or.
But do you agree that earthquakes do not kill?
Sir, earthquake plays a part, but as far as we have reached, we have advanced in civil engineering. So at a certain point, yes, we can make earthquake-resistant buildings to a certain point. So on very severe earthquakes, there is a thing beyond mankind. But sir, on smaller earthquakes, we can, if we construct according to various codes, and if we have a good construction, we can certainly save various destruction in earthquake.
Okay.
During earthquake.
The saying is earthquakes do not kill, but it is the buildings that kill. And amongst buildings, not all buildings kill. Safe buildings don't kill. It is the unsafe buildings that kill. I'm telling because you are from civil engineering. And do you know about seismic zoning system in India and how many zones are there?
Yes, sir. Seismic zoning is done on the vulnerability of areas which are prone to earthquakes, and there are five seismic zones as far as I remember in India.
What are the zones like?
Sir, the zones goes from 1 to 5 on the degree of vulnerability to earthquakes.
Okay, which is the most severe zone, you say? 1 or 5?
Sir, 1.
1 is most severe.
Yes, sir.
And which zone is Roorkee located in?
So, Roorkee is located in zone 3.
Can you be little loud?
Yes, sir. So Roorkee is located in seismic zone 3, I guess.
No, I think you need to know. You have studied there, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And
I
5 is the most serious.
Okay, sir.
In fact, zone 1 does not exist in India.
Okay.
And in civil engineering, I think you will need to know all this. Okay, yeah, over to you, Sharma.
Yeah, Mr. DEEPAK.
Yes, sir.
Synonyms of DEEPAK in Hindi.
So DEEPAK, synonyms of DEEPAK, Diya and Deepaka. Deepaka is one synonym.
What else?
Sir, I can only remember.
Okay, Rajasthan, Delhi and Uttarakhand.
Yes, sir.
And you have studied civil engineering. Your optional is?
Sir, public administration.
Oh, sorry, you told me.
Deepak, don't be too rigid. Sit comfortably.
Yes, sir. I'm comfortable, sir.
I know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Make yourself easy.
Yes, sir. I'm
Okay. Can you name a civil engineer whom you are very proud of from our country?
Sir, in our orientation, we were made aware of Mr. O.P. Jain, sir, who was a pioneer in civil engineering in India, and he was also regarded very highly in world also.
Even more popular than him?
So, apart from Sir O.P. Jain, sir,
Was he a faculty there when you studied?
no, sir, no, sir. He wasn't a faculty there when I studied.
Okay.
Sir, he was one of the earlier engineers in our country's civil engineering.
Okay. Do you know about Sir Moksha Gundam Visvesvaraya?
No, sir.
You don't know. Civil engineer. Sir Moksha Gundam Visvesvaraya.
Sir, I can recall there is a Vishwesharya plan. I think that is related to him. Sir.
Okay. Okay. Rajasthan state. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Old pension scheme, new pension scheme.
Yes,
First
sir.
of all, you will tell me that which are the pros and cons of old pension scheme and new pension scheme. Second thing, whether at all Rajasthan has decided to go for old pension scheme. There are some other states also which have decided, rather they have given option to the person that he or she can opt for old pension scheme or new pension scheme. So first question, difference between these two, pros and cons.
Yes, sir.
What Rajasthan state has decided and what other states have decided. So, and what is your viewpoint, whether at all we should go for old pension scheme?
Sir, old pension scheme is basically a fixed benefit scheme in which the employee is getting approximately 50% of his basic pay as pension. Whereas new pension schemes is a contributory scheme in which the person contributes to around 10% and government contributes to around 14%. So, sir, the basic difference is about the contribution, because the contribution which the person is making is going from his pocket, whereas earlier it was a fixed benefit scheme. So, sir, people find old pension scheme more attractive. And sir, Rajasthan state recently decided to revive old pension scheme, and sir, various other states also find it now attractive. The reason I could think maybe a political or maybe because that is more popular in public. But sir, the main reason where new pension scheme was brought, because it was old pension scheme was having a huge financial burden on government. So sir, I think reviving old pension scheme would certainly crunch our funds which we need in various infrastructure projects and other development course. So I think sir, new pension scheme could be more revived by consultation. Maybe the contribution from the government could be increased. That's what I think, sir.
So we should go for old pension scheme.
No, sir. I think new pension scheme, we should improve it rather than going for old pension scheme.
Okay. Ecological disaster in Uttarakhand, which was noticed recently, say within a week or so. What exactly that is?
Sir, there was various faults and cracks seen in Joshimath.
What are the reasons for that? For that ecological disaster?
Sir, Joshimath was basically built on a debris of a landslide. So, sir, it has a certain limited carrying capacity. But, sir, as it is a famous tourist place, so, sir, the basically load of people and construction is, sir, accessing the capacity of that place. And, sir, as it's based on debris of a landslide, sir, that's why it is now showing cracks and faults.
Okay, in Delhi there is commissionerate system of police.
Yes,
but
sir.
in Rajasthan it is not.
Yes,
so
sir.
What do you mean by commissionerate system, police commissionerate system?
Sir, commissionerate system is slightly different from the state police system. Sir, in commissionerate system, the responsibility for law and order is directly onto police, whereas in states the law and order is joint responsibility of police and district magistrate. In commissionerate system, the commissioner is empowered with some powers which are not given to police in states.
So we can say that magisterial powers are vested with police
Sir,
in police commissionerate
so
system.
some powers, as few of them, I think of imposing section 144 and distributing gun license, I think.
Okay, related with Delhi, one more question. Huh?
Yes, sir.
As we all know that Delhi is one of the most polluted capitals of the world.
Yes, sir.
So many steps have been taken up by the government during past 2 decades, and even now so many steps are being taken to tackle that problem.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me which are the steps which have been taken by the central government as well as government of NCT of Delhi?
Sir, first of all, sir, one of the main reasons of Delhi's population because it is national capital and provides various opportunities to people.
Just mention the points, not in detail. Huh?
Okay, sir. Sir, first could be, sir, there was a scheme provision of urban amenities in rural areas to develop rural areas so that they can provide urban amenities so that there could be less migration.
Okay.
Other than that, sir, there is currently aspirational district program in which government is developing various districts. And sir, apart from that, sir, government is Manrega is a scheme which is very successful in providing employment to people in their home district. And sir, from Delhi government to
various steps which have been taken up during past 2 decades or so. Can you mention some?
From sir Delhi government specifically, I could not mention.
Delhi government as well as central government, both. Introduction of metro, could it be?
Sir, introduction of metro, it could be because
Introduction of CNG buses, could it be?
So CNG buses, I think, was more of a...
It started in 2000 approximately, or 1 or 2 years earlier than that.
So CNG buses, I can recall, was started in early 2000, 2003 or 4.
Yeah, approximately.
Yes, sir,
20 years from now.
Sir, it was, sir, basically took up the pollution issue, I think.
At that time, this was not taken into account that Delhi could be the worst polluted capital of the world. But definitely this was a step which was taken. Had that not been taken, then situation would have been much worse than it is today. Anyway, what else during past 3-4 years?
Sir, government is developing the national capital territory around Delhi, basically. So
okay, shifting from BS4 to BS6, what is that?
Sir, BS4 and BS6 are, sir, standards of emitting sulfur and nitrogen from engines, so that we can... BS6 is...
So definitely we have shifted from BS4 to BS6.
Yes, sir.
Now, entry of trucks in Delhi, what has been done for that?
Entry
of trucks.
Sir,
Eastern Peripheral Expressway and Western Peripheral Expressway.
Dedicated freight
what
corridors
else?
are made.
Closure of thermal power plants, could that be?
Yes, sir. Badarpur NTPC plant was closed, and sir,
what else could be?
So graded action plan.
Yeah,
could be,
graded
sir.
action plan.
Yes, sir.
So what do you mean by graded action plan?
Sir, graded action plan is a comprehensive plan which takes various steps by which takes various.
Okay, what else?
Sir, odd even policy.
Odd, yeah, that could be. What else? Any other thing?
Sir, installation of smoke towers at certain places by Delhi government, and
introduction of electric buses.
Yeah, yes,
could
sir.
It be?
Yes, sir. Recently Delhi government introduced electric buses.
What about
and sir, one
hydrogen electric cars?
Yes, sir. Government is pushing a policy of electric cars, central government. And sir, one more thing which I now recall is that, sir, some of the buses in Delhi are using mixed fuel.
Has any MOU been signed by Ministry of Surface Transport and National Highways with MOU that MOU relates with producing hydrogen electric car? Are you aware of any MOU which has been signed, and with whom it has been signed?
Sir, I am not aware of
Toyota?
that. Sir, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Deepak,
Yes, sir.
you are basically a civil engineer, no? Studied civil engineering.
Yes, sir.
Why do you aspire for civil services?
Sir, during my college time, I was sir involved in various activities. Sir, first of all, which I believe is working in NSS. There, sir, I had exposure in village visit and others. So there, I got to know what is the role of government at public grassroots level. Then, sir, in third year, I had a course about rural governance. There, sir, I first time there I knew about the government structure, what is in our country and all. So then only I decided I have to go for government sector.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You, I think public administration is your
Optional, yes, sir.
optional, yes. Define public administration.
Sir, in layman term, public administration is basically administration of public services by public servant for the public.
There are types of public administration. Can you name them? There are basically 4 types of public administration.
Sir, 4 types.
Did you read about them? No.
So maybe I have read about, but I cannot exactly recall.
Oh, okay, okay. What is happening with Panchayat Raj in India? Panchayati Raj. What is the status? Did you read about that in
Yes,
public
sir.
administration? Yes.
Panchayati Raj institutions are sir, basically third tier of government, which were accorded constitutional status by 73rd Constitutional Amendment. And sir, after that we have it has multi objective. First of all was sir to broad base in our democracy. Apart from that, sir, women empowerment was also a key objective of it, because it gives reservation to women in locals in third tier of government. So yes, sir, Panchayati Raj institutions are sir really broad based on our democracy.
Okay. You have been living in Delhi for a while, no? I think you studied here and all that.
I was just born in Rajasthan. I
But
brought up
mostly in Delhi.
Whole schooling.
So, if somebody asks you, a foreigner or somebody,
yes, sir.
to name 5 interesting things about the city,
Yes, sir.
what are they?
Sir, first of all would be the architectural monuments, the Qutub Minar and the Iron Pillar and the Tughlaqabad Qila. Second is, sir, the food and cuisine. I found it very unique and interesting about Delhi. Third is about, sir, that depends which foreigner, but I would like to go them through metro, sir, because we have a very successful model of metro. And sir, fourth is the cultural events which we organize in I don't remember the exact place. And fifth could be, sir, near that is there's craft mela in Surajkund if the time is around that.
Okay. You prepare North Indian food, no?
Yes, sir.
What kind of food you make?
Sir, apart from daily day-to-day things, sir, I can cook like non-veg and veg both, shahi paneer, butter chicken, kadhai paneer, and sir, all sort of that.
Okay. Do you know what is continental cuisine?
Continental, I am not exactly aware.
No, please read about it. What is continental cuisine? Because when you write cooking North Indian food is your one of your hobbies,
Yes, sir.
areas of interest. So questions will be on that. What is Chinese food then?
Sir, as the name suggests, Chinese food is the cuisines of China. But
Like what?
So chow mein is a thing. Chow mein and sir, chili chicken. And
What about Japanese food?
Japanese food, sir, I think is more about seafood, and Japanese food culture, sir, is they don't like to have very cooked food. They like to eat something very in raw form, as far as I can.
Okay, okay. What are your service preferences?
Sir, I want to work in Indian Police Services, so that's
Indian
my
Police
first
Service, okay.
preference.
And because your father...
Yes, sir, that's the main
Okay,
reason.
okay. Now, they always talk about police brutalities,
Yes, sir.
Do you agree?
Yeah, yes, sir, we have certainly improved on that, but still there is presence of police brutality. And sir, I don't agree with that thing, because sir, we are a democratic nation, and police brutality is a menace to the public-police relation, which comes in between the closeness of public with police. So I think it should be reduced. It should be eliminated altogether.
What is your view on using third degree method, what they call?
Dasab, if I may just add one. Talking of brutality, you see the hardened criminals.
Yes, sir.
Some criminals were known as hardened criminals.
Yes, sir.
How does the police really investigate and get the truth out of them if you say that it should be eliminated altogether? Please answer him.
Sir, I think as a police system, we lack on psychological cross questioning and investigation. So that we have, first of all, sir, we have to give our investigators a professional training for investigation only. I think, sir, we right now lacked in that kind of training. So, sir, that could complement the current methods.
Can we not use it probably better techniques, which are used by police personnel all over the world, like in developed countries?
So in developed countries also, sir, they don't permit brutality, sir, as a tool. So they resort to other things. And in developed countries, the police is more reluctant to use violence than than our nation, I believe.
Okay. I'll take you now to the current affairs, international affairs now
Yes,
for
sir.
a while. Have you heard of an organization called SARC?
Yes, sir.
Why hasn't it taken off? What has happened? We are not hearing any more about SARC.
Sir, as far as I remember, sir, the last few meetings of SARC were not very successful because of the issues between India and Pakistan, because they are major countries in South Asia and they don't get along on a platform. So, sir, the main objective of coming countries to a platform to discuss things and get nullified. So, sir, that's why.
Do you see any prospects for SARC in the future?
Sir, SARC has potential to collaborate between South Asian countries, because we have various ancient cultural ties also. So if governments of the day can engage together, SARC can be SARC can be a potential platform to solve out many issues.
What do you think of ASEAN? Have you heard of an
Yes, sir.
organization called ASEAN?
Yes, sir.
So how are we involved in that?
ASEAN, sir, is a group of 10 countries, Southeast Asian countries. Sir, India is actively participating in ASEAN through our Act East policy. And sir, recently also we had some discussions about RCE, Regional Comprehension Economic Program, with ASEAN, but we couldn't sign that. So, sir, but still we are actively engaging on ASEAN, and I cannot remember exact, but we also invited ASEAN members heads to our events like 26 January. So, sir, that shows our commitment and importance of ASEAN for us.
Have you heard of Spratlys Island? No.
Sparkly, sir, I've heard of it, but I'm
Okay.
forgetting.
Read about it.
Yes, sir.
Now, talking about a neighbor of us, India,
Yes, sir.
Myanmar.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is happening there?
Sir, in Myanmar, sir, the military regime did a coup and overthrown the democratically elected government.
Who is the leader? Or who is the leader now?
I'm not. The democratic leader.
She studied in India. I'm talking
Democratic leader was Aung San Suu Kyi. I'm not exactly pronouncing her name. So she is currently in jail.
Where is she? She's in jail.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, there is a statement that emanated very recently from the military leader, general, Did you follow that?
Sir, one statement I can think of, that they have agreed to conduct elections in Myanmar.
But tell me, you agree with the view that some people say that we have not been critical or vocal about the military regime in Myanmar.
Sir, Myanmar being our eastern neighbor, it's a sensitive area because we share fragile boundaries with it. And sir, I can think of the opinion of former secretary that we cannot dictate our interaction with our neighbor, but politics of the day. We have to interact with the government. We have to interact whoever is running the state to ensure our national interest.
Now, what about democracy then? What about democracy?
Sir, for democracy, we can raise the issue on various other platforms. By being critical of that, we could not serve any fruitful purpose. We can be vocal of the issue on various democratic platforms like United Nations and other. But sir, only being critical of that won't solve any problems and could harm us also.
How?
Sir, we have.
Supposing we criticize, we say, no, I think the military regime has to go.
Yes, sir. Sir,
So-
recently we are, sir, facing a China +1 problem. So as we would be critical of Myanmar, China would be gaining land in Myanmar, and China would be using Myanmar to hurt us, and that because China is also in confrontation with us on various borders, that border could also be prone to vulnerable things.
Thank you, Deepak.
Let me ask you, you are a civil engineer.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you name some heritage monuments
Yes, ma'am.
in India?
Ma'am, Qutub Minar is in Delhi.
Okay.
Ma'am, Taj Mahal. Ma'am,
Nearby?
nearby Akshardham temple.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And Mehrul Iron Pillar is.
Okay.
Okay, and other than that,
You
Tughlaqabad
are
Fort.
missing the main thing
Tughlaqabad Fort.
in Delhi.
I'm sorry.
Red Fort.
Red Fort, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. That is about the ancient monuments. Who were the architects of Rashtrapati Bhavan, North Block and South Block?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of it.
You might have heard the name, I am sure, about Rashtrapati Bhavan, at least that entire area. Who designed it, you know?
Ma'am,
We call it, that part of Delhi, we call it by a particular name. Lutyens, have you heard about it?
Lutyens, I have heard.
You have
Lutyens
heard
Delhi.
about it. Okay. So that is, you know, what is the new project of the central government in this area?
Ma'am, Central Vista project.
What is the approximate cost of the project?
Ma'am, it is around 20,000 crore.
It is, okay, it comes near about. But, okay. Now let me move to the other subject. You aspire to be a police officer.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you find that a lot of people are arrested by various governments on many charges. But can you just arrest people? Under what guideline can you arrest people? Are there any guidelines for the arrest of people?
Ma'am, for preventive detention, under preventive detention, we can arrest people. And ma'am, other than that, if we arrest people, we have to.
But what are the rules to be observed? I mean, can I simply go and say that you are arrested?
Ma'am,
What are the guidelines?
Ma'am, if I arrest a person, and so I have to convey him on what charges I am arresting him, and after 24 hours, I have to bring him in front of magistrate. Then only I can further the confinement. If the magistrate doesn't permit me, then I have to release the person.
Okay. Can you arrest a woman?
Ma'am, individually I can arrest. If I have to arrest a woman, I have to have a woman officer in my team.
Yeah,
only she can
that is
arrest
right.
that woman. Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of protection you give it to the person who is to be arrested? I mean,
Ma'am,
can he get any help from anyone?
help in what sense? I'm not.
Suppose I am going to be arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
The police has come to my doorstep.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I get help from anywhere?
Yes, ma'am. Certainly, I believe you can call your lawyer and.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You are entitled to
Yes, ma'am.
a lawyer. Now coming to you, if you are going to be a police officer, you should know what are human rights.
Human rights are basic rights which are inherent to us just because we are human. That cannot be taken from us.
Okay. What are the two groups of human rights?
Two groups of human rights.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm not aware of the category of two groups.
What are the personal rights?
Personal right.
Your own rights. What are your own rights?
Yes, ma'am. Personal right are rights which we derive from our constitution.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Which article of the Constitution?
Ma'am, from Article 14 to 32, we have various fundamental rights.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what are your individual rights?
Ma'am, individual rights is first of all,
In other words, I will put it in a better fashion. Civil and political rights.
Okay.
What kind of civil and political rights?
Civil
do you
and
have?
first of all, civil rights could, in general category, in generalization, is right to equality. Then, ma'am, I have right to freedom, and I have right against exploitation, and I have right about various right to profess my various cultural and religious practices, and there are also certain minority rights if I am belonging to that. And ma'am, from political rights, I have freedom of expression to choose any political party which I like, if that is not banned by the government.
Okay. And what is the other group of rights? I spoke about individuals.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
could be the other group of rights?
And the other group could be the community rights.
Community rights, but can you put it in a meta way?
As a community,
No, what are the rights?
Rights.
Pertaining to what? Community rights pertaining to what? Social, social and
cultural,
social, economic,
economic,
and cultural rights.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are two groups of things. When did the idea of human rights come?
ma'am.
I mean, the global community started recognizing human rights as something very important.
Ma'am,
When did this happen?
I think, ma'am, it was post World War II.
Why did it happen?
Ma'am, because in World War II we find various instances which were very degenerative of human dignity, so that the world thought it is a time to that
Come together.
come together to form some rights which are inherent to human and couldn't be taken from a human being in any sort of situation.
Okay. What are human rights codes?
Human right codes.
We have Supreme Court, we have High Court, but we have human rights codes. What are they?
Sorry, ma'am.
Any court which is notified to deal with specific human rights issues,
is a human
so that
right.
they are taken up faster.
Okay.
That is the human rights. This thing. Anyway, now you said you are interested in cooking.
Yes, ma'am.
This year is notified for a particular crop. Which is that crop?
And 2023.
International
Yes,
Year
ma'am.
of
It is International Year of Millets, ma'am.
Millets.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are cooking. What kind of millets do you cook? Do you ever use millets for cooking? What are the millets, common millets which you see?
Ma'am,
Can you name
I
a
think,
few?
ma'am, jawar, bajra.
Have you seen these in
Yes, ma'am.
Jawar?
I've seen. I've also cooked bajra roti.
Bajra roti, you,
Yes,
you
ma'am, I
make
have
it.
cooked.
How frequently do you make bajra
Ma'am,
roti?
I have only cooked it once.
Nice. Okay. But anyway, I just wanted to flag this issue before you.
ma'am.
And finally, again coming back to the police.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
are the son of a police officer.
Yes, ma'am.
And finally, the question is, what kind of reforms
Yes,
do
ma'am.
you envisage in the police force? The country is badly in need of police reforms. What reforms would you suggest?
Ma'am,
Suppose you
from
are a police officer, what kind of strengthening do you envision?
Ma'am, can I structure my answer in two categories? Ma'am, first of all, first category could be the topmost. Ma'am, we need certain reforms from the top. Ma'am, first of all, the 1860 Police Act we need to reform because it defines. It is a colonial act, and in that time, police was envisaged to perform some other services which is not possible which is not conducive to democratic setup. Apart from that, ma'am, we have to improve from them structural problems, like we have to improve our people to police ratio.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And from the bottom, ma'am, the work culture I think needs to be improved. And because I have seen and I have also studied that various police officers of lower ranks have to work for 14 to 11 hours. And ma'am, when they are exposed to that much rigorous duties, ma'am, they are not, and they somehow not able to. How should I? Ma'am, they are not able to keep their psychological composure because many of times, ma'am, they feel from mental disorder and that, ma'am, I think work culture needs to be improved.
Mental health of these
Yes,
people
ma'am.
are important. But you omitted the most important thing, which the police force face. Can they act independently in India?
No, ma'am. First of all, ma'am,
But
police.
how do you remove that problem?
Okay.
Is there any solution to that problem?
Ma'am, accessibility of police to public needs to be improved. So, ma'am, and a culture in a district from an SP could be imposed, and good practices could be imposed from the nation, so that the public don't hesitate to go to police. Public should feel that.
The most important thing, most important change which can be brought out against all kinds of influences
Ma'am,
to some degree. What is that?
To impart compassion in policing.
No. Compassion, these are all personal qualities. Some interference, some intervention, not interference, intervention can really bring down the kind of,
And technological intervention.
Yes, you said it.
So,
Technology, unless you apply technology, where the interventions could be minimized,
Yes.
So that is one of the very important things. Okay, that's all I wanted to ask you.
Okay, Deepak, thank you. Kindly wait outside, we'll call you back.
thank you, sir.
Please come.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
seat, Deepak.
Please sit down.
Deepak, you came out well in the course of the mock here. But there are a few areas where you need to improve. One is your own subject, civil engineering. You need to brush up a little, know more about civil engineering. Some basic questions were asked. I'm not a civil engineering student, but I know a little about civil engineering. So please familiarize yourself with that, because there will be the first question on your own subject.
Yes, sir.
And second would be your optional subject,
Yes, sir.
that is public administration.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know what material you're reading, which book you are reading. Just brush up a little.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Sir,
like
can-
a
sir,
good
can,
def. Good
Can I
def-
know, sir, the answer of your question? The 4 types of public administration. you
Yes.
asked. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can I know the answer, sir?
Yeah, there are 4 types of public administration. I mean,
Yes.
if you just check your book, you will find the names. Legal aspect is there, political
Okay,
administration.
legal, political, social,
Yeah,
economic.
yeah. So all 4 are there, 4 types of public administration.
Yes, sir.
So there is also a difference between public administration and private administration.
Yes, sir. That I know.
I am a student of political science myself. I studied public administration.
Yes, sir.
So I know exactly. But my suggestion to you is, please go through that
Yes, sir.
and read, And then, that's why I asked you about Panchayat Raj. Your answer was good on Panchayat Raj, what is happening in Panchayati Raj in India. But you need to know more about it, what reforms should be made in that area. Then coming to your service preferences,
Yes, sir.
IPS, you mentioned IPS.
Yes, sir.
So when you mention IPS, you need to familiarize yourself with, say, police reforms, what needs to be done. There are papers there, you can always Google and find out what is happening in, prison reforms, for example, what needs to be done. You know that there is overcrowding in
Yes, sir. Recently,
Indian
Prime
prisons
Minister
and
or
all.
President also mentioned.
Then there is another question which is also asked in the interview boards, encounters.
Yes, sir. Encounter.
UP, for example,
Yes, sir.
So they will ask you, do you justify an encounter? How do you justify an encounter?
Sir, encounter. Sir, it shouldn't be a state-sponsored policy. Encounter could be the rare of the rare for Hobbiton criminals, but I should not justify it as a policy.
So, there will be questions. You
Yes,
have to expect the questions.
Yes, sir.
And prepare accordingly. And then what newspaper you read?
Sir, actually, currently I am reading Indian Express, but I am not regular.
No, I think you have to be very, very regular. You have to read one newspaper at least for about 40 to 45 minutes a day, minimum. A minimum. And not only you read a newspaper, but you jot down the points of interest related to your DAF, DAF, what you have mentioned in this application.
Yes, sir.
Like food, just saying I love cooking Indian, North Indian food is good, very good actually. Everyone likes to eat, good food and all that they will say, but they will ask you questions
Yes, sir.
related to food.
Food.
You won't believe, like I was asked a question long time ago, 1980 I'm saying. They asked me what is after 8. Do you know what is after 8?
What is after 8?
What is after 8? They asked me.
Desert?
No, yeah, well, I didn't know. I said, I really don't know. After 8. So they said, okay, make a guess. What is after 8? I said, after 8 is 9, number 9. No, I mean, the honorable member laughed. He said, no, it's a mint chocolate. After 8 is a brand, mint chocolate, which is usually taken after dinner.
Yes.
So basically you have to keep your eyes and ears open.
Yes, sir.
When you are aspiring for civil services and you are appearing for an interview, please do that.
Yes.
And last but not the least, also read an economic newspaper, maybe Mint or the Economic Times, whichever you can get. Mint is good, because it gives you the points in a bullet form, like
Crisp economic
crisp,
point.
So like there will be budget also by the time you go to the interview.
Yes, sir.
So read about the budget, read about the economic survey, which will be prior to the budget.
Yes, sir.
So all that you need to read. And Delhi, I asked you what are the interesting things about Delhi. Make a concise answer, a structured answer about Delhi. Talk about, for example, even the infrastructure, metro and everything. The architecture of Delhi is very beautiful. We have so many things in Delhi. Food, yes. Educational institutions in Delhi,
Government institution have
they are
improved.
very
Yes,
good.
sir. Yes, sir.
So you have to mention all that. Hospitals. So all that you have to mention when you talk about Delhi.
Okay, sir.
So that will all stand you in good state, and all my very best. And this, how much you would give yourself in this interview, let's say, today, mock?
Sir, around 150.
150? I think I think we also gave you, but I think your aim should be at least 180 to 190.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you should aspire for that.
Sir.
So I'm sure you can get it. It's not that you can't get it, but you need to prepare. You have some time because you haven't yet got the date of your interview.
Yes, sir.
So I think you need to work a little. Maybe have 2 more mocks if you can. I mean, depending on your convenience, wherever you like to do it, please go ahead. But prepare well, and I'm sure you will make. All our best wishes for you.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions you have for you? Please.
Sir, I want to ask a question, sir, that I am currently pursuing Masters in Public Administration. So, sir, should I mention it?
If they ask you, yes.
If they ask me to introduce myself, so should I mention after
No,
my
no, I mean, why should you say that?
Sir, because I had mentioned it in DEF, because their question is all about have you had a degree in Masters. So, I currently just...
You are only studying now, you
yes,
haven't
sir.
completed. No?
Yes, sir, that's why I haven't mentioned in DEF. So, should
okay.
I mention it in...
No need, unless they ask you.
Sir, because I think, sir, I like very much on the civil engineering aspect. So, if I mention it, maybe...
Yeah, it will be.
Then maybe what will happen?
Maybe they'll ask more from public administration, and I can answer that more well.
Would you like to answer more questions on public administration or civil engineering?
Public administration, sir.
Okay, then you can mention maybe. But you haven't studied public administration very well. So I suggest that you go and read public
Yes, sir,
administration.
I would revise.
So are you reading some notes or?
Sir, actually, yesterday only there was my exam for first year public administration. That's why I wasn't studying about Rajasthan.
Which book you are reading, by the way?
Sir, I am doing it from Sir IGNOU, so I have their material, course material. So that's what I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
You said something about Taj Mahal in Delhi or something.
No, sir. I said
I don't know whether I heard wrongly or what.
no, sir.
No.
When I
I
mentioned.
asked for the whole country, then he mentioned.
It's okay. So I mean, I think be specific about Delhi when you say it.
Yes, sir.
And tie when you put, then this
Like-
front portion should come down.
Long, more long.
Yeah, long.
Okay.
That should touch
About
your
touching the
Belt.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a general problem in speaking English, sir. Was I okay, sir, in speaking and communicating?
No, perfect.
I
No
think
problem.
speaking is okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All the best again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.